You've been thinking about buying a home on Chicago's North Shore. Maybe you've already spent a few hours on Zillow or others. Maybe you've saved listings in 3 different apps. Maybe you've watched enough home tours on YouTube that the algorithm thinks you're already a licensed agent. And somewhere in the back of your mind, you're wondering, what does a real estate agent actually do for me? Is it worth it? What should I be looking for? Here's something that might surprise you. The National Association of Realtors surveyed thousands of buyers about what they wanted most from their agent. Not what they got, not what they expected, but what they actually wanted and needed. And the number one answer wasn't negotiating the best price. It wasn't handling the paperwork. It wasn't navigating the closing process. And the number one thing buyers said they wanted from their real estate agent was help finding the right home. And that sounds simple. It isn't. And today, our Caroline Gau team is going to break down exactly what that means, what it looks like in practice, why it's harder than most people realize, and how the right agent on Chicago's North Shore changes the entire search experience. So let's get into it. Welcome to the channel. If you're new here, this is your home for real, unfiltered information about buying and living on Chicago's North Shore. The Caroline Gau team is based right here in Northbrook, Illinois, with 24 years of helping families navigating this market. The towns we work in every day, Northbrook, Glenview, Deerfield, Highland Park, Buffalo Grove, Winnetka, each one has its own personality, its own price point, and its own trade-offs. And this channel exists to help you understand all of it before you make one of the biggest decisions of your life. If this is your kind of content, hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss anything. Now let's talk about what buyers really want and what it actually takes to deliver it. When most people start thinking about buying a home, the agent feels like a secondary part of the process. You find the house, you fall in love with it, and then the agent helps you buy it. That's the mental model most buyers bring into the process. And it's understandable. Listings are everywhere. Zillow's in your pocket. You can scroll through 40 homes before you've finished your morning coffee. But here's what that mental model misses. Access to listings was never the hard part about buying a home. The hard part has always been figuring out which home is actually the right fit for you and then getting it in the market that doesn't give you a lot of time to think. On Chicago's North Shore specifically, this gets layered very quickly because you're not just picking a house, you're picking a community, you're picking a daily lifestyle, you're picking a tax picture that will follow you for years. And you're doing all of that while also competing against other buyers who are already mobilized, already pre-approved, and already working with agents who know exactly how to position an offer. The buyers who end up in the right home aren't just lucky. They did the work on the front end. They had a process, and almost always, they had an agent who helped them build that process before they ever walked through a single door. So let's talk about what that actually looks like. There are several things a great buyer's agent does during the home search that most buyers don't even know what to look for. The first one is listening, not just to what you say. Every buyer walks into the process with a list: bedrooms, bathrooms, garage spaces, finished basement, home office, good yard. That list is real and it matters for sure. But the best agents listen to the why behind the list. Why do you need a home office? Is it daily video calls where background and quiet matter? Or is it the occasional work from home where any quiet corner works? That distinction changes the search. If it's daily video calls, you need a dedicated room with a door, and that actually narrows the field. If it's an occasional converted dining area or finished basement alcove, might be completely fine. Why the finished basement? Is it a playroom for young kids that you need right now? A guest suite for parents who visit a lot? A workout space? A potential in-law arrangement someday? Each of those answers points toward a different layout. A playroom needs natural light and open space. A guest suite needs a proper egress window and at least 3 quarterbacks. And an in-law setup needs separation from the main living room, right? These aren't small details. They shape which homes belong on your tour list and which ones don't. And when inventory is tight, which it consistently is on the North Shore right now, you don't have the luxury of touring 20 homes to figure out exactly what you need. You need to walk in knowing this. The Caroline Gau team starts every buyer relationship with a real conversation. Not a form, not a checklist, a conversation about how you actually live, how you cook, how you entertain, how your kids use the space, where you spend the most time in a home. Because that conversation is what separates a focused search from a scattered one. The second thing a great buyer's agent does is translate the market to your specific situation. Chicago's North Shore is not one market. It's a collection of distinct communities that each behave differently, price differently, and offer different things to the buyers who live there. Northbrook and Glenview, for example, are often compared by buyers who are choosing between them. And they have real similarities. Both are in Cook County, both have excellent public schools, both are well-established suburbs with strong resale values, but they're not the same. Northbrook has specific school districts, District 27 and 28 for elementary, 3031, and District 225 for high school. And the boundaries within Northbrook matter. Glenview feeds into its own set of districts, and the commuter rail access is slightly different. The feel of the neighborhoods is different. The price per square foot trends are different. The inventory patterns are different. None of that shows up on Zillow. Zillow shows you square footage and price. It doesn't tell you that two homes priced the same on paper are actually different in markets because one is south of Willow Road and the other's north. It doesn't tell you that the comp your lender used was in a junior high district that commands different pricing. It doesn't tell you that a home in a certain pocket of Deerfield has a property tax bill that looks dramatically different from a similarly priced home in Highland Park, even though they're 10 minutes apart, because Deerfield sits in both Cook and Lake County, depending on the address, and Lake County taxes generally run higher. A great buyer's agent knows all of it, and more importantly, they know how to apply it to specific budget and priorities so you're not blindsided 6 weeks into the process. The third thing a great buyer's agent does is filter before you fall in love. This one is harder to appreciate until you've been burned by it. But on the North Shore, a well-priced, well-prepared home in a strong school district can go under contract in a weekend. The market doesn't give you time to think. It gives you time to act or not. And the worst thing that can happen to a buyer in that environment, falling in love with a home that was never the right fit. Because once the emotion's there, objectively, it's very hard to recover. You start making concessions you wouldn't have made when you were clear-headed. You start stretching your budget past what you told yourself was the ceiling. You start ignoring things in a disclosure that a calmer version of you would have flagged immediately. Our team filters proactively. Before a tour is ever scheduled, the team's looking at the listing carefully. What's in the disclosures? What's the age of the roof, the furnace, the water heater? Is there a permit history on the record, or that something that suggests work was done without pulling proper permit? Is the listing priced in a way that suggests the sellers expect a bidding war, or is there room to negotiate? Is the home backing to something that might be a deal breaker? A commercial property, a busy road, a retention pond that sounds prettier in the listing remarks than it looks like in person. None of that analysis shows up in the beautiful photos. And if you're scheduling tours on your own without that filter in place, you're going to spend a lot of emotional energy on homes that were never right for you. The fourth thing a great buyer's agent does is prepare you before competing. Here's something our team sees consistently. Buyers who have been casually searching for months, watching the market, saving listings, getting comfortable with the price points, and then the right home hits and they are completely unready to act. Their pre-approval was done for a conversation 6 months ago and the numbers aren't current. Their agent hasn't toured the home with them, doesn't know their preferences, doesn't have a strong relationship with the listing agent. Their offer is put together under pressure in 2 hours, and it shows. Preparation looks different in a competitive market. It means your financing is not just pre-qualified, but fully underwritten so you can close fast. It means your agent knows exactly where your ceiling is and what terms matter to you before anything hits the market. It means your agent's already talking to listing agents, already monitoring the coming soon period, already positioning you as a serious buyer before the sign goes in the yard. In Illinois, you have attorney review after an offer is accepted, typically 5 business days. That gives both parties a window to review contracts with their attorneys and request modifications. But you only get to attorney review if your offer is accepted in the first place. And in a multiple offer situation, the offer that gets accepted is often the one where the listing agent has the most confidence that it will close. Agent reputation matters, buyer preparation matters, and communication matters. The Caroline Gau team has 24 years of relationships on the North Shore. When the team calls a listing agent about an upcoming property, that call means something. It opens doors that a cold offer from an unknown agent does. The fifth thing a great buyer's agent does is help you evaluate not just the home, but the decision. Once you find a home you love and you're ready to make an offer, the emotions are running high. That's completely normal. This is your future home. Of course you're excited, but the agent's job at that moment isn't to match your excitement. It's to help you think clearly, to walk through the comparable sales and explain what the data says what the data says about the value, to help you understand what inspection results are typical for a home of that age and what would actually be a red flag, to have a frank conversation about appraisal, and in a competitive market, whether an appraisal gap waiver is something you can actually absorb and what that number should be if you're going to go and offer that. Our team approaches the inspection process strategically. In this market, asking for repairs can cost you a deal. Our team coaches buyers on how to approach inspection results in a way that protects them without signaling weakness. Whether that means a credit rather than repairs, focusing only on genuine safety items, or in some situations, accepting a home as is because the pricing already reflects the condition. That conversation, that strategic thinking about what to ask for and how to ask for it, is something you only get from an agent who has been through this hundreds of times. Not from a portal, not from a search app, from a real person who understands how sellers think, how listing agents communicate, and what actually moves a negotiation forward versus what blows it up. The sixth thing a great buyer's agent does, and this one is underrated, is tell you the truth when the home isn't right. It sounds obvious, but in practice, this is one of the hardest things an agent has to do because buyers get attached. And once a buyer is attached, the agent is in an awkward position. The buyer wants to hear reasons why this one worked. The agent's supposed to be on the buyer's side. Why would they pour cold water on the excitement? Because that's actually what's being on your side means. Our team will tell you when a home is priced above what the comps support. Our team will tell you when a layout is going to be a problem for how you actually live, even if the photos make it look fine. Our team will tell you when the mechanical systems are in a disclosure and at the end of their useful life, and you need to factor that into your offer. Our team will tell you when a neighborhood feature that seemed minor on paper is actually going to bother you, because we've sold homes in that neighborhood and they've heard buyers on the other side. That kind of honesty isn't comfortable, but it's what saves buyers from very expensive mistakes. And it's what creates clients who come back 5 years later when they're ready for their next home and send their friends and family in the meantime. So let's bring it all together. What does it mean that buyers want help finding the right home above everything else? It means the search is not a passive process where the agent just schedules tours. It's an active collaboration where the agent brings expertise, local context, and honest judgment to every stage. It means the right agent listens for the why behind your wish list, not just the list itself. It means the right agent translates the North Shore market to your specific situation. Which towns fit your budget and lifestyle? Which neighborhoods align with what you actually need? What is your tax picture at your price point? It means the right agent filters before you tour. So you're spending your time and emotional energy on homes that have a real chance of being the right. It means the right agent prepares you before you're competing, so you're not scrambling when the right home appears. It means the right agent helps you evaluate clearly when it's time to make a decision and gives you honest guidance, even when the honest answer isn't what you wanted. And it means the right agent stays with you through the entire process, through attorney review, inspection, appraisal, title search, and all the way to the closing table, because the support doesn't end when the offer is accepted. That's what help find the right home actually means. It's not just access to listing. It's every layer of expertise and judgment that turns a search into a decision you're confident in. If you're thinking of buying on Chicago's North Shore, whether you're relocating from out of state, moving up from the city, or simply ready to make a change, the Caroline Gau team would love to start that conversation with you. There's a link in the description to schedule a free consultation. No pressure, no pitch. It's an honest conversation about where you are in the process and how our team can help. The team has been doing this in Northbrook and across the North Shore for 24 years. The experience is here. The local knowledge is here, and the commitment to actually helping you find the right home, not just any home, is here. If this video helped you think about the home search different, please share it with someone who's in the early stages of looking. It might save them a lot of time and frustration. Subscribe to the channel and ring the bell so you don't miss what's coming next. I'm Caroline Gau. We'll see you on the next one.